Okay, here we go. Well, everybody, what's the crack? And welcome back to episode number fucking 10 of the Inline G Flute podcast with me, your host, Inline G. I have to whisper because the gains turned up very high this week because we have a guest on the Inline G podcast. I promised I would get you one. I've got you the best one in all of Germany. Today, as our special guest on the Inline G podcast, we have Jakob Zeiler. Jakob, introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello, my friends. I'm Jakob Zeiler from Germany, as Gareth already said. I want to introduce myself with an Irish saying. I actually heard it from American dude, but I have heard it's from Ireland actually. So let me say it. There are ships made of wooden. There are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships. May they forever be.
Well, we'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Slanche, my friend.
Slanche. Cheers.
So,
or as we say in Germany, Prost.
Prost, Leute. So, yeah, we may as well get this out of the way quickly then. What are we drinking this week? We're actually drinking... I decided that bringing Jakob onto this podcast, we would design our own flute-based cocktails. We did that quite slowly, to be honest. It was a bit of a last-minute decision to do this, and we're quite drunk already. This week we have got what we have called a Piccolo sour.
Piccolo sour.
It's somewhere between a pisco sour and the play on the word of Piccolo. And the reason it's Piccolo is because it's fucking disgusting. So that's as good as we've got. It's very nice. So we've got a really special episode planned, guys. We're going to have a fucking blast on this episode. I've got games planned for Jakob. We might even do a little flute lesson at the end. But before we get into any of that, Jakob, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck I am?
Tell us.
Okay. I'm just like a random guy. Walked like next to the street, and then this like Irish man was like letting me into this house and said like,
do you want to do a podcast?
No. Okay. I'm Jakob Zeiler. I'm currently 24 years old. I'm a student living here in Cologne.
What are you studying, Jakob?
I'm studying to become a psychologist one day. So I'm studying
to be a
psychology. And yeah. But
and where are you from?
I'm from Aachen. It's like a small town next to Cologne. It's like 1 hour away from here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I moved to Cologne to study here.
When did you move here?
4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Funny timing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was.
You might have noticed there, viewers of the Inline G podcast, that Jakob didn't say fuck all about the flute there. He's very curious for a flute podcast and a special guest on it. You're thinking, who is this guy? I've never seen him play in a professional orchestra. Is he the principal flute of the Aachen Symphony Orchestra? He's not.
No,
he's got a very special link to the flute. Jakob, tell people, what is your link to the flute? Why are you on this podcast?
Like, I'm into this podcast because I actually have lived together with the one and only Gareth Houston.
Yeah, guys. So, I thought this would be a great idea for the 10th episode of the podcast. When I moved to Germany 5 years ago, I moved here 5 years ago, but I lived in another flat with, never mind. I lived here 5 years ago. Then Corona, that little bug that was going about, hit. I went home to Ireland and I came back to Germany and I had nowhere to live. And I found a shared flat. And one of my three flatmates was none other than Mr. Jakob Zeiler. So I thought it would be a really cool idea to get the viewpoint of someone living in lockdown for 2 years with a professional flute player. And he's someone that's fucking playing Mozart every day, that's blasting Sanson, fucking Voliere, Midsummer Night's Dream, all that. So I've got Jakob on to discuss that. So we've got some games planned for him later as well to see how much he has remembered of the flute world. But we're going to talk a few things flute first. I'm going to try and get some connections here to the flute. Bear with me, guys. This is going to be a belter of an episode. By the way, I said to Jakob, oh, come on around tonight, we'll do a podcast episode. We'll have a few drinks on the podcast. Jakob's been here for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
We've had a few drinks.
Yeah, just a few. Like so, how it is if you meet an Irish person and if you're from Germany.
So we've got a bit carried away already. Yeah. But sure, that's what it's all about, the Inline G podcast. So I've got a few things I want to ask Jakob. First of all, Jakob, do you remember the first time you heard the flute when I moved in?
Yeah.
Do you really? No, we actually haven't talked about this. We haven't mentioned this.
No, we haven't, yeah.
Go ahead.
But I was thinking about this when you invited me to the podcast. I was thinking, like we're going to talk about the flute. Like, when was the first time I heard you playing the flute? And actually was like one day after you moved in. And I just remember...
You're professional, yeah.
Yeah, he's a professional. Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself. But yeah, I remember like the first day after you moved in. Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, it's Corona. We will all be stuck here together. Yeah. But we'll be fine. Like, he mentioned he's playing the flute all day. And then I want to study like maybe at 10ish in the morning, 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. And then like I just heard somebody playing the flute for like 8 hours straight. And I was like, okay, welcome to new life, Jakob.
There was no way I was doing 8 hours, by the way. That's very generous of Jakob to say 4 hours at best.
Maybe,
Fuck the practice myth, by the way. Fuck the 8 hour practice myth. But anyway, we'll get on to that. So you did notice it from the start? We've actually never discussed this. We've never talked about this.
No, but I was just like sitting in my room because like my room was like kind of next to Gareth's room.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
More or less, yeah. And I was just like listening to it and I was like, okay, that's what you're going to hear for
that's
at least like the next year.
Life. Oh man, and in Germany at the time as well, there was like a pretty severe lockdown. So you could like mix within your flat and you could have, I think when I moved in, you couldn't have any guests, and then it sort of loosened a bit where you could have one person maybe. Yeah. But we were all studying at home. There was 4 of us. But we were all studying at home. We were spending all day there, so I was blasting the flute all day, every day. Yeah. Tight quarters. So I did feel bad for them, to be honest.
There was no other room for you to do it. Like you had to do it at home. Yeah. Like
normally I would have went somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on where you're from, but like in Germany, like Corona was like really strict, and like you weren't able to leave the house. Like
most viewers here are American, so during Corona they just pretended it didn't exist and injected themselves with bleach.
No, we are Germans. Like we like rules. And we like to stick to the roots. And
it was pretty strict, to be fair. It was pretty crazy. So we got to know each other very well. Now, we didn't know each other before. I found the flat sort of through that.
We have just seen each other like for 30 minutes before.
Yeah, for an interview, So that came in. I moved in with these lads. We stayed together for 2 years. The next thing I want to ask... Yeah, but it must have been about 2 years. Okay. Yeah, a very intense 2 years, to be honest. Yeah, we'll get into that. So... Yeah, first thing I want to ask you then about the flute itself is, do you remember any specific things being practiced? I'm very curious about this.
Like any specific, like
was I playing a certain tune? Or even if you don't know the name, could you go, oh yeah, I remember that one?
Yeah, like definitely. There were some like tunes you were always like practicing, but like I couldn't recognize them. But I remember this time it was Christmas time, and you were practicing the Harry Potter theme song all the time.
You told me about this, So the Harry Potter theme tune, I I wrote out a tone exercise on Hedwig's theme, going up in semitone tonalities as a warm-up exercise, because I got really bored with fucking Taffnell and Gobert and Moyes and all that. So I was doing a lot of that, and genuinely part of my thinking at the time was, if I'm practicing Harry Potter all the time, maybe I'll not piss off my neighbours and my flatmates quite as much.
Like, why did you think that?
Because I don't know, like the standard thing we practice on the flute, like the warm-up would be a guy called Marcel Moyes and his long notes. So you play a B, you go B, B flat, and you go B flat, and you do that for 20 minutes. Okay. And I think that when you're listening to it doesn't have the same like aesthetic pleasure as Harry Potter 27 times.
It's not as nice. No.
So but
I can tell. Yeah.
I have to ask you now, generally speaking, did you find the noise of the flute too much? Did you find it nice? Did you find it distracting, undistracting? How did you find it in general, having a flute player practice beside you?
Okay, to be like absolutely honest, like
the first day, 3 drinks now, so
yeah. That's why we drink, right?
Right, go.
The first day after you moved in, I was like, okay, I can't do this for like more than like one more week. Yeah. But then like after like 1-2 months, like I couldn't study at all without hearing the flute in the background. When you were gone, like, and I couldn't listen to the flute while studying, like I couldn't study at all
That is so weird. Yeah, Lucas, our other flatmate, said the same thing actually. He was like, when I left to go home for Christmas, he found it weird not having it. Yeah. I think maybe it's something to do with the fact, like, I'm not saying I'm particularly good, but what I'm saying is when you're at that level where you're practicing etudes and you're practicing orchestral excerpts and concertos, it's kind of the same effect of maybe sticking on classical music in the background. It's got that, because you're playing real music to a high level instead of me. Like if I was just learning the flute, it might have been a bit annoying, but because I'm playing music, it's maybe a little bit better, and it's also not like the fucking violin or something. Or could be worse. You could have your flatmate practicing Back to Black by AC/DC on the guitar.
Like, why are you mentioning this?
Yeah, I just want, right, okay. I do have to get on to this. So the flat I moved into, there was 4 of us at the start. Jakob was there the whole time. There was a bit of a revolving door effect in the flat in general, so people came and went. But there was always a musical feel to the flat anyway.
Yeah.
I think, so Jakob plays guitar and took up electric guitar at that time as well. I think you got your first electric guitar.
Yeah, it was my first electric guitar after Christmas, yeah.
Yes, that's right. You got it as a Christmas present. So, one of my memories as well, which is weird for me because I've obviously lived with musicians a lot, but I've lived with classical musicians. I've never lived with a rock musician before. And hearing a rock musician practice, he was practicing Back in Black every day. Or is it Back in Black? No, Back in Black is Amy Winehouse. Back to Black is...
Back to Black is AC/DC, yeah.
He was practicing it every day, and it goes like... Dun, 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 and there's that little bit afterwards, and he could never get it right. So it was like... Dun, 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 dun. And it was that all day. I was like, fuck, it's not easy living with a musician sometimes.
No, and I think we should mention that I'm not a professional musician.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
I'm just like a random drunk who's like playing the guitar from time to time.
Oh,
and
man.
Yeah,
so
it's a little different, I guess.
Well, I think that was one of the things, practicing or being with me practicing, it didn't seem to annoy my flatmates very much. And I have to say, when I moved out 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. Yeah, I've been here a year. So when I moved out on the very last day, one of the neighbours came to me and they were like, oh, are you one of the musicians from downstairs? And I went, yeah. And she went, which one are you? And I went, I'm the flute player. And she went, it was lovely listening to you. I was like, oh, the other ones? And she went, and she had a little bit of a problem with, she was like, yeah, it was a lovely flat and it was nice to hear you and you were nice guys. Sometimes we had a couple of issues with the noise.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, I don't think they meant the musical noise. So when we moved in, I didn't know Jakob and Lucas at the time, but we got to become very good friends very quickly. And I was practicing all the time, and I think there's maybe this aura of like, oh, I'm a classical musician. I wouldn't drink or do any of that, which was very far from the truth in the end. So we used to have these like fucking wild parties. I say parties, it was 3 of us. 3 or 4 of us. It was the guys that lived there, and we would get drunk and put on loads of music because it was Corona. There was nothing else to do. Man. Like, you couldn't socialise, you couldn't go out with your friends, so you just sat in the flat and got drunk with your friends and listened to Earth, Wind and Fire was the big one in September. But the neighbours weren't so fond of that. Do you remember the guys that lived right beside us?
Oh yeah, I do remember them because like we used to see them like every other week.
Do you remember? Fuck.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time the guy next door came? You know, like, the one with the kid.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Do you remember the
first experience?
But I don't know, like the first experience.
I can't pinpoint the very first time with him.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time it started to become an issue.
Oh yeah, I do remember this too.
I'm gonna try and.
I feel like the first time he came over, he was like, "Okay, can you please be quiet?"
Yeah,
and we were like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah. Let's be quiet."
So the guy to the right, he was like, "What age would he say he was? Like maybe mid-40s?"
Yeah, mid-40s, 40.
And he had a son who was, I think he was 15, wasn't he?
No, I think younger.
Yeah,
like 13 or something.
He's a bit of a nerd anyway. But he had a son just beside us, and I think they must have heard us through the wall. There was a pretty thick wall.
Yeah,
but it was Corona, and we were partying quite hard.
And there had to be like a hallway between like
there was a hallway in the flats, but anyway, so he came around. Yeah, I think you're right. He came around the first time. He was quite nice, and he came around a few times. This is a great story, by the way. I don't even know if I can tell the story and make it sound believable, because every time I tell this story, everyone's like, "There's no fucking way. There's no way." He said that. So my first memory is because our other flatmate Lucas was, I want to say, like the voice of reason when the parties were happening. If someone knocked the door. Parties again, 4 people, but when we were drinking and someone came to the door, he'd be like, send Lucas, he'll deal with it, because he was like more mature.
He's like the most responsible.
Yeah, while I feel like if Jakob goes, he's going to be like, you know, a hat upside down, traffic cone in his head, you know, no shirt on, going, hey, what's up, what's the problem? And I'm going to be going around and going, have you ever heard of Kyle Lafferty? So we always like, Lucas, you get up, you fucking go talk to me. He's like, what? And I was like, just go fucking say something. So Lucas always be real nice. He always go around and be like, yeah, we're very sorry, we'll turn it down. And we did. We always turned it down and kept an eye on it. But it started to get a bit ridiculous. And one time I remember this one. So the guy came around and his son was with him. Yeah. Because from what I understand, the next door flat, the son's bedroom is right there.
Yeah, right to our flat.
Yeah, so he
was the one listening
he was getting
to
the
us,
noise, yeah. And from what I remember, like the dad came, I was with Lucas, the dad came around and it complained about it and said, my son is hearing this, and he pointed to the son who looked about 13, 14. Yeah,
like who else is it? Like your brother? Your wife?
Who's this young man? So he said, yeah, so my son's been making a complaint. He's heard the noise and he just wants you to keep it down a bit. And it was quite nice. We're like, yeah mate, we're very sorry. you know, we're four guys. We normally would go out clubbing or we'd go to a bar or something, but we can't. So we're just trying to get some of that steam off and that, you know, frustration. But we are respectful and we'll turn it down, of course. But then he came back and he's like, the conversation's too loud. And we're like, well, you know, we can't really, you know, we're
But
in
he
our
was
own
really
fucking
like
flat.
understanding us. He was saying like he was a student as well, and like it's
that's
corona,
right. Yeah,
like, you can't go out. So like he wasn't a bad person at all.
he wasn't, and to be fair, I feel very sorry. If you're listening, I am so sorry, mate. Like we put you through.
That was helpful.
But the funniest bit was the day the wee son obviously got big balls, and he thought, I'll go around and speak to these lads on my own. So he heard us party and thought, yeah, what could go wrong? I'm 13 years old. I'll go round on my own to those four lads in their fucking mid-20s and say, keep it down. So he came round on his own. We opened the door and he was standing there. He looked like a delivery man. And we're like, what? And he's like, keep it down. I mean, right, okay, but like, where's your dad? Like, where's the adult? And he's like, no, there is no adult. We're like, right, okay, we'll keep it down. That's fine. He went back home. Then the door goes again. 30 minutes later, there's the dad and the son. And the dad says, right, we've had enough of this. My son's complained about this a few times already. Blah, blah, blah. And he went on this big speech, but he dropped in a wee comment. And I never forget the comment. He just dropped it in and he didn't think we noticed. Do you not remember he said, like, the little boy piped up and he said, because he said, there's too much noise, the music's too loud, and the conversation's too loud. Yeah. And the little boy went, yeah, and you're always making robot noises. And then it sort of scooted past that, and his dad sort of went, no, shh, yeah, whatever. Even he knew his son was losing the plot, and he scooted past it. And then we came back in, we were like, did he say robot voice? And we were like, is anyone doing a robot? And we went around, we were like, were you doing a robot voice last night when you got drunk? And he's like, no. Were you doing a robot voice? No, I went. Like, why the fuck's he hearing robot voice?
Yeah, like what even is a robot voice?
I don't know, but do you remember okay, this isn't the nicest thing we did, but I did this a few times with Lucas. I don't know if you did it. I used to go up beside the wall, like on a Tuesday afternoon, like 1 o'clock. No, I wouldn't bang. I'd go up to the wall and then go, I am going to kill you through the wall at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon of a Tuesday, just to see if he got a reaction. The wee lad was fucking... Yeah. Oh, he was mad. But the flat was so much fun. There was so many things that went on, and you have to remember, you're trying to live like 4 independent lives in a small flat with nowhere else to go. One of the big things that we had noticed, and that's actually where you'll notice has changed, the video watchers will notice a change to the setup this week. There's a beautiful painting here behind me. I'll put up a picture of it. So you can see here, it says the one and only King of Flute, Gareth, and a sign in the corner, JS, which looks like it says JS Gareth, as in JS back, but it's not Johann Sebastian Gareth. JS is for...
Yeah, I'm not an artist as well. I'm not a musician, I'm not an artist.
So, can I tell the story of how I remember this? And you can tell the story of what happened? I will let you
tell the story in 1 minute. I just need to add something about the kid. Like,
add something about the kid first.
Because, like, the worst part about it was, like, he was, like, in puberty. And, like, he had this voice cracks all the time. So he was
like Scooby-Doo, yeah.
Can you please be kind? And everybody was like trying not to laugh.
You can't listen to him when he's doing it. Oh, bless him. I'm sorry, mate. He's probably like 19 now and buff and fucking going to the gym now. Yeah. So, yeah. After that, that's the kind of thing that would set you on a path of the gym.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I'm going to teach those guys a lesson.
He's still thinking about us.
Bless him. Yeah. So yeah, the painting.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
No, the painting. So one of those things about living together all the time is you're living your entire life there. So Corona restricted everything. You couldn't socialise at all. For a lot of us, we were all single at the time, I think, or most of us were single, so dating was very difficult because you couldn't go to bars, you couldn't go to the cinema, you couldn't go meet people anywhere. And you don't want to be that weirdo that's like, oh, first date, come on round to my flat. It's strange. So we had to like go to, personally, I was doing like walks in the park and like, you know, going on a walk in the park in January in Germany where it's like -3 degrees, sitting at opposite ends of a bench because you have to keep 1 meter distance, like shaking like fuck going.
Everybody was like so serious about Corona.
Oh, it was, and we had a few breakouts in the flat as well, to be fair. But yeah, the painting. So what happened was, because of a small issue of how do I put this gently, privacy that was required in all our flats. None of us had locks on our bedroom doors. And I was the first to realise how to put a lock on that. I genuinely, this is going to be the most scumbag thing I've ever said, I know how to pick a lock or how to change a lock in the old ones, because when I worked in B&M Bargains for the Northern Irish people on the Falls Road when I was 16, one of the lads taught me how to pick a lock. So I was able to change, I bought a new lock and I changed it in my door, and I thought, I want a lock.
That's the reason why. I didn't know that.
I knew how to do it.
Yeah, okay.
So I changed the lock on my door and I thought, I need a lock. Because it used to be, if you had like a member of the opposite sex or a member of the same sex, whatever floats your boat, round your flat, you couldn't knock the door. So you're always very nervous all the time of like, I'm sitting in there drinking a glass of wine, showing off my classical music knowledge, reading through a Ravel score. And then he bursts in with his Northern Ireland top on going, So,
I mean, it has happened that people would just like come into your room without knocking. And
oh yeah, we did just came in the odd, all the time. We walked in each other's rooms. So I got a lock in, and then everyone sort of followed suit and got the locks in. But there was one night I had a young woman round, who is now my girlfriend, by the way, so it's nothing dodgy.
Was it my girlfriend?
It's your girlfriend. I had my girlfriend at the time. My current girlfriend. I had her around in the flat, and I text those guys. I think the lock hadn't arrived yet, or there was something about it maybe. But I remember texting those guys saying, "Lads, I've got a girl round tonight. Please don't come in my room, and like don't knock the door. She's quite shy. Just leave us alone, please, please, please. Just don't knock the door."
Yeah.
So we were sitting there. I was having a few drinks. We were chatting away. And I heard a very gentle knock on the door, like a really, and I lost my fucking shit. I was like, I got up and I was like, I fucking told them, don't knock that fucking door. I told you a million times. I fucking text them, and I screamed. And I was like, whoever it is, fuck off. And I heard Jakob going, no, but Gareth. I was like, no, it doesn't matter. Fuck off. I don't want to hear from you. I told you a million times. Fuck off. And he's like, no, it's just that. No, don't want to hear it. Yeah. Anyway, he went, and then the next morning I left to go get a cup of coffee in the morning, and I opened the door, and sitting in front of the door like the baby Jesus in a manger was this beautiful painting. And then I realised that instead of him trying to be a dick and interrupt me or trying to wind me up, what he'd actually done was, I think you had told me you were trying to ask me what colour my eyes were to finish the painting.
like how it was, like from my like side, like point of view, it was like I haven't looked at my phone the whole night, and I didn't see your message all night. And I was like, okay, like I'm just going to ask him. Like I didn't know you have somebody over.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, let's ask him what eyes, like what color has your eyes. And yeah,
that's a very wholesome thing to go ask me as well. I honestly see really the next morning when you had text me, because I think you had text me during the night and I didn't see it, and when I saw the message saying, sorry mate, I just wanted to check what colour your eyes were for the painting, and I saw the painting, I felt like such a dick. I felt like I kicked a puppy. I was like, I told him to fuck off, and I just imagined him going, what colour? And I was going, fuck off, and he went, okay, sorry, and I left it. But anyway, I've got this beautiful painting which I don't put up in my studio. I've actually got it pride of place in my living room downstairs, but maybe I'll make a move up here. Currently I have 6 composers back there, for anyone wondering. I have Mozart, Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Chopin. I think that's Tchaikovsky, who can now go fuck himself. But yeah, so that's what happened there. And then, but we were all musicians in the flat, which is one of the things I found cool. Lucas did a bit of drumming. He also did a lot of stuff with the loop pedal. We actually made a bit of music. I made music with Lucas. I didn't make music with you, I don't think. Did we ever play together?
Like, we played all of us together.
Do you remember St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Like, we still have this video. Like, I think you can find it at your Instagram, don't you?
It's probably there somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Or it's on my Facebook.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Actually, and that'd be the same time I would have given you this jersey.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for the video.
It was for the video, and then you wore it for the boxing. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can both tell, we're wearing Northern Ireland football jerseys because I gifted Jakob this.
What was his name again? Like Joe Frampton or something?
Card Frampton.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we watched the Card Frampton fight. Yeah. If you check out my Instagram reels or TikToks of music I've been putting out, I have that one about hobbies in music college. And first of all, the dancing with these shirts on, that was at the Card Frampton fight in that flat. And then the later one where there's a guy going, drink, Gareth, drink. That's him.
That's me.
That's him in that flat as well.
Yeah, and I've actually never seen you cry, but I've seen you cry once. At the fight, yeah.
Broke my heart. That Card, if your wife, Car's not watching. Car, I've asked him to watch, but
is he still alive or?
Oh, he's still alive. He's not that. He's only 34, man.
Yeah, but
he's Irish. Yeah. So yeah, we were all musicians. We did do a couple of things together. We sort of, it was kind of cool, I think, as a classical musician, living with normal people. Well, as close to normal as you can get. And the music taste kind of amalgamated, which is one of the things I loved. And I never forget the one night. New Year's Eve, it must have been 2021 going into 22 then maybe, or 2020 going into 2020. No, 2020 going into 2021 it might have been then.
Yeah, I guess so.
So there was like mega lockdown in Germany, so you couldn't go out, you couldn't party. It was very strict.
No.
So
it wasn't even allowed to like invite people. Like you were just like allowed to have like 2 flats like celebrating together, but like only one person from another flat would be able to come to your flat.
Yeah. So we had. Yeah, I think we'd made a plan that the 4 of us in the flat, we would cook a nice dinner, and we all put on our suits, and we made a new playlist for the night. Now, we won't talk smack about certain flatmates. It was Jakob, myself, and Lucas, and there was a revolving door of fourth flatmates. Diego was a wonderful flatmate. I'm talking about him as if he's dead. Diego's not dead. Diego's just in Berlin.
Yeah.
Love you,
Hello,
Diego.
Diego.
But before that, we had another flatmate who we will call Jimmy. So Jimmy was in the flat. Jimmy didn't have the same music taste or the same vibe.
No.
Jimmy was a very different man.
Yeah, Jimmy was.
And we had a strange relationship with Jimmy. On a New Year's Eve, we put together a playlist. Remember, we all threw in tunes. I was bouncing about the living room going, right, put in a few tunes here. You know, I was throwing in a bit of Lizzo as well. Obviously, you know, Lizzo plays the flute. Do you know this?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, Lizzo plays the flute. Yeah. Although Lizzo's getting cancelled.
Okay.
You see this?
Why is he?
Lizzo, you know, the girl.
No.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Juice, you do, man. You do. You know Lizzo songs.
Do you know Travis Barker?
Fuck off. Don't you start me, Travis Barker. He walked down to me one day, coming out of the shower. By the way, what age are you, Jakob? You're 24, yeah.
No, but like when we used to live together, I was
22,
like
21.
20 to 22.
Yeah, Jakob came up to me one day and went, have you ever heard of this guy Travis Barker? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you know he played in the band called Blink 182? And I was like, yeah. How do you know him? And he went, yeah, he's a producer. And I was like, no, he's the drummer from Blink 182. How the fuck else would you know him? And then Jakob got into a real big phase of pop punk, which was great for me because it felt like I was 16 again, but I was actually 28 years old. But then we made this playlist, and that was kind of the issue then. So we were putting in pop punk, I was throwing in a bit of Lizzo, showing them a bit of Flute, and then Jimmy came along, and I remember Jimmy said to me, he's like, I've got an idea for a song, put this song in. And he just said to me, no, go on to Spotify, open it up. And I opened it up, and he went, I said, what's the name of the song, Jimmy? And he went, Remix.
And
I went, yeah, but what?
Just put in Remix.
Yeah, and I was like, well, remix of what? He's like, no. Just put in remix. And I was like, no, but mate, there's loads of remixes. I don't know if you know what that means in English, but he's like, no. Trust me.
Yeah, and
just type in remix.
No German word for the word remix.
But like, I will say one thing. When I typed in the word remix, he fucking found it. Yeah. He scrolled down to about 85 songs. He went, there it is there.
But that tells you so much about him.
Yeah, that was the kind of music.
You know everything
look at
about
us music
Jimmy
snobs
now.
Here. Like, look at us. We're sitting here drinking fucking Piccolo sours.
Piccolo sour. Yeah.
He got a big mouthful of egg a minute we didn't shake it up properly.
No.
Just before we started filming, he was like,
there's some egg white in my drink.
I haven't got one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, New Year's Eve, then we had this big party. Well, it wasn't a party, it was 4 of us. We drank, we had our suits on.
It was 5 of us, actually.
Someone's partner was there? Who was it?
Yeah, my partner. My
right
former
enough.
partner was there.
And then, yeah, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I think this might be, I'm not going to say a classical musician thing, but I have a thing where at the end of the night, I need to like wind down a party night with a bit of, either a bit of classical or a bit of like very soft acoustic music, because I think it just hits me a bit too much music and I need like that little calm down.
Okay.
So at the end of the night, they all went to bed. And I was like, right, I'm going to do the dishes. I was blocked. I was blind drunk. But I was like, I'm going to do the dishes. This will be a lovely night. Started doing the dishes. They went out for a smoke. And then a few seconds later, I turned around. And there was 7 people in the flat. There was 5 new girls. And I was like, who the fuck are these people? And we found them in the street. They're coming into the party. And I was like, oh, man. So
but they were actually our neighbours.
They actually, it turned out they lived above us. And it was actually really fun. Do you remember the night we went out for Pride? Oh, it's not Pride, it's Christopher Street Day.
For Christopher Street Day.
So Christopher Street Day, for anyone that doesn't know, there's Pride in Germany, but there's a Christophstrasse. Is that what you call it?
No, it's like Scheffelstrasse. Or
Schaffenstrasse, that's what you call it. What's the day called though in German? What's the event?
Christopher Street Day. It's the same name. Yeah, like New York, like for American friends. Like probably they won't know.
No, they won't. Yeah, so they have like a... It's kind of like a gay Pride event, but it's not during Pride itself. It's slightly separate.
And I also think in Germany it's a different day than is in like other countries.
I think it is, yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. So I think Pride now, is it the whole month of June in Germany?
Yeah, I don't... But like, it's actually interesting that like Germany is like the gay capital, like in... like Cologne is like the gay capital of Germany, so like it's
very really, LGBT plus friendly here, yeah, like
super,
and it's a big party. So we went out, that a couple of years ago for it.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, maybe.
So we went down to a party street with Diego, our other flatmate. We had no, but Diego come to start. No, it was just
like Diego was with us and Joe was also with us.
Yeah,
so like Diego was our flatmate and Joe used to live in your room before you moved there.
Who's now the co-host on the England B Team Football Podcast. Check it out, guys.
Yeah, just listen to it.
Yeah, so we went out and we got the Christmas. We got down to the street. We partied a lot. So in Germany, you can drink in the street. No like brown bags or any of that shit in Germany. Partied in the street, doing shots, partying away. Lots of Britney Spears, lots of crack. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. We were like, right.
Like, do you remember when we did this comparison? Like, who's like taller than the sunflower.
Fucking until you said that, though I didn't. I actually found those photos the other day. There's like 6 photos of me, you and Diego and Joe lying, because we found this like fucking giant sunflower.
It was
like 1
like
o'clock
so
in the morning.
huge. Yeah.
And it was dead, or it wasn't dead, but it was on the ground anyway. It's cut out.
Oh, was it?
Lying flat on the ground, and we were like, right, we're going to lie beside it and see that. Do you know what? That's one of those stories that when we tell it to each other, it's funny. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's not.
Oh yeah.
It's funny
weird.
to say. Oh yeah, we lay beside a sunflower, and everyone laughed, and you're like, oh really?
Yeah. And nobody was taller. Okay.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: none of us won. But yeah, so we went out, partied like fuck, had a great night. It was about a 30-minute walk home. Walked home, got into the flat, and we're like, fuck, right, need to go inside. We'll have a quick cigarette here before we go in. It's a long night. He was out having a smoke. I sat with him. We were chatting a bit. Then the guys from upstairs came down. They're like, "Oh, are you doing Christopher Street Day?" And we were like, "Ah, yeah, we just got back." Like, "Oh, we're just going out to it now." And we went, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
And like, "He's leaving now?" And they went, "Yeah, we're leaving now." And we just went, "Right, here we go again." And we just turned, walked back out, and had the best fucking night I think I've ever had.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was unbelievable.
I just broke into like a random flat on this evening.
Oh my god!
With like, with our neighbor, like, because like we were like.
But they break? No, they weren't break. Did they know someone in the flat? I totally
No.
forgot.
We just like walked somewhere, and then we were like, I don't know, having a cigarette or having a drink in front of some random door, and then like somebody like just like laid down back at the store, and like it was open, and so we decided, okay, let's go inside, and we just like walked up there, and there were like different apartments, and like one of those apartments was just open, so we decided, okay, like we were super drunk, and
I think I was in the flat. I thought someone knew
oh,
someone.
you were also in there?
Yeah.
I just went in there with like you know, like, let's find a different name for her. Let's call her Sarah.
Yeah, we'll call her Sarah.
Yeah. Like I just went in there with Sarah.
I don't know. There you are. Man, yeah, there's a lot of stories that sort of get a bit blurry around the whole time. But one thing I will say, going back to living with musicians, one of the very fun things about that period was, so before I moved in with the lads, I was studying still. I was teaching, I was gigging, I was doing all that kind of stuff, and I sort of had a mixed income of gigging, teaching, doing all that. Obviously, Corona hits, gigs went down the pan. So I relied solely on teaching as an income for a very long time. When I moved into a shared flat, it was in a lovely area of Cologne, so it was a nice area to bring people to. Now the flat itself was not great, but my room was nice, so my students came and they just had to go through the main kitchen and get through to my flat and into my room, and then I had a lovely setup, a studio setup. It was beautiful, it was really great. But the only problem was, what I didn't think is, when you're living with 3 other guys, nudity becomes a bit of an issue. So
was it?
Yeah, well, not nudity, foodie nude, but I felt like in most mornings I would walk out to get a cup of coffee, and most of these lads would be like just in their boxers. And I remember there was a running thing where I had a schedule for my students coming, and I had to text everyone. I had alarms on my phone 15 minutes before I go and text the lads and just saying, by the way, my students coming in 15 minutes. If any of you are naked, can you either go back into your room or put some clothes on,
like,
please?
I don't remember this at all.
No, you were the worst though. You were always knocking about in your boxers.
Really?
But you always listen when I told you go back to the flat. You're always, I'll go back to your room. You're like, yeah, no problems. Now that's a challenge. The joys of living a freelance musician life during Corona. You have a lot of obstacles to overcome. That was fucking funny though. Right. Okay. Before we move on, I want to get stuck in this. I've got a set of games for Jakob. Flute games, which we're going to play. Now, before we play the flute games, do you want another drink?
Oh.
Should we just pour another drink? Are you okay without having ice?
Yeah.
Right. We're going to pour another drink. So. Right, before I do this, I'm going to tell you guys what games we're going to be playing. So, I have got 5 pieces of music, first of all, that I would have been practicing on the regular. So, you would have heard these a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a little bit of each one. Okay. And you're going to have to tell me kind of like a what happens next. So, you can either sing the next bit for me, you can tell me roughly what you think is going to happen, or I might give you a point if you just give it a good fucking guess. Okay,
so if I just like tell the name. Like,
if you can guess the composer, I'll be incredibly impressed. But if you give it, if you're not sure, sing the next bit, and I'll tell you how close you are, and I might give you a point for it.
Yeah. For all our listeners and viewers, it's like, how long ago has it happened? Like 1.5 years, at least.
1.5 years, but you got it for 2 years straight every day.
Yeah, that's true. But I barely can't remember last weekend, so.
I didn't get any egg white in mine.
Oh, you didn't?
Is that a bit of egg white there?
Yeah, just like drink it. It's protein. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not great. Right, the second cocktail, by the way. So I'm designing my own cocktail. Can you pass me the gin, please?
Oh yeah, of course.
So Do you remember that time you put up the Instagram story? Because I love gin, as you guys know very well.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I remember in Germany. First of all, if you have plastic bottles in Germany, you bring them back to the supermarket and you get money back.
Good money for that.
Which is
25 cents, which is like 25 penny. I don't know. What do you use in Ireland? Do you use euro?
Euro in the Republic of Ireland and the Queen's pound, or the King's pound in the north of Ireland.
So it's like all about the same.
Sorry.
Oh, the lid.
Yeah, so it's actually great. You get the money back, but glass bottles, you don't get money back on.
Oh, you do. It's like 8 cents for like beer bottles.
Beer.
But like for liquor or like wine, you
don't get the money back. Yeah, unfortunately. So gin does get the money back. Although I will say, do you know how much a bottle of gin is in Germany? Can I just clarify this for people? That bottle of pink gin, which is Lidl's, and it's a nice gin to be fair.
Yeah.
€8.50 for a whole bottle of gin.
Yeah.
If they made gin €8.50 in Ireland, we'd be dead.
Yeah,
so
probably.
The cocktail we've got gin. Pink gin is my favourite. Now we've got a drink called
What even is like pink gin?
I don't know, mate, to be totally honest. I've got mezzo mix. Jakob, why don't you tell the people what mezzo mix is?
Oh, mezzo mix. Is it German?
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, like
German.
sometimes you don't know if things are German. Like if you grew up in Germany,
exactly.
like you know, like you're just used to it. Okay,
this is
mezzo mix. It's actually it's super Deutsch. It's like a great mix between Coca-Cola and Fanta.
Yeah.
And Fanta, yeah. Like,
do you know the Fanta story?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like appropriated to tell it in the podcast. Yeah. Oh, it is?
I've got an episode about Nazis already out.
Okay. Yeah. As we are in Germany, I think like we can mention that.
Yeah, it's about time. We've been hitting this for 35 minutes. We haven't even talked about the Nazis yet.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's a record in Germany.
Germans never talk about the Nazi thing and everything has happened there. Like maybe some like old grandparents do, like when they're like really, obsessed with this time. But like young people just like it's not a big thing for us. But like every time we are with like people from other countries, it's like, yeah. What has happened there like 100 years ago?
To be fair, that's one thing we can relate to. Like I come from Belfast, so we have a wee bit of terrorism ourselves.
Oh, you do?
Not on the same scale as you lads. Like we didn't go that bad now.
Not yet.
Yeah, so yeah, Fanta is, from what I understand, what does it stand for?
No, Fanta is like, it was just like invented by like the German, like let's call it government, like back in the Nazi side. Yeah, because like Coca-Cola didn't want to ship like Coca-Cola to Germany, so they needed some like exotic sugary drink in Germany, and that's why they invented Fanta.
And it's not like Fanta is, the name is Fantastische. Something like that. No,
like I feel like you know more than I do.
There's a name for it, like Fanta name. I think it's something to do with the Nazis. There's like a written from the German word fantastisch, meaning fantastic. Oh, that's it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's just fantastic.
Oh, that's not good enough. Yeah. No. I thought it was like, but it was due to the American trade embargo of Nazi Germany. It was an alternative to Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
you're totally right.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is why I've got it mixed with gin. I'm going to call this drink, I've been very lazy about giving this a name, but we're going to call this the Inline G Cocktail. Because
the what?
Inline G, that's the name of this podcast. You're on it. And the Inline G is the third key in the flute, which you'll discover later on. And it's something Americans hate. They don't like inline Gs. They have a different kind over there. Yeah. So we're calling it the Inline G because it's very German.
It is.
It's and also Inline G is kind of my name in this podcast. You're not familiar with the lore of this podcast quite yet.
Yeah, but like I like heard you introduce yourself. Like,
I am.
It's your boy.
It's your boy. I'm Inline G. I'm strong. This is strong. Deutsch and Americans hate it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
That's what German loves.
Is it good?
Oh, it is. Yeah, indeed.
Wow. There you are. So the Inline G Cocktail is one hearty measure of gin, a whack of mezzo mix, or if you don't have that, half Coke and half Fanta, mint and lemon, and a decorative umbrella to top it off. Right, let's get some games going.
Okay. I'm excited.
I'm going to play. Now, the first round of this, I'm going to give you 5. As I said, you're going to finish it. To make it a little easier in the second half, I'm going to give you 5 flute solos, really famous ones from famous pieces of music, and you just have to tell me the name of the music if you think you can get it.
Okay.
Now, if you give me the composer, I'll give you a point as well. Okay, so don't look at the screen though.
Okay.
Can't look at the screen.
I won't.
So the first round is going to be famous flute pieces that I would have been practicing back in the day. I'll get the volume right up on this. So, wait. Oh, that's not the right tune. That's a Bee Gees stem.
That's not the flute, isn't it?
No, I wish it was, man. Okay, listeners at home, you'll be able to guess this very quickly. If you can't, you're a disgrace. So, I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm going to stop it. First of all, you tell me if you recognize it, and then see if you can guess what happens next.
Okay.
First question. Do you remember it?
Oh, actually, I don't.
No!
That's been ages ago.
Okay, well.
Okay. No,
play it one more time for you.
No, yeah, give me another try. Yeah.
Do you reckon you can guess what happens next? Or do you reckon you can sing the next bit for me? You're going to give it a go. Where you go? Give it a go. Right. No. Not even fucking close.
No.
Nul point for that one. Right, number 2.
Okay.
I'm enjoying watching you try. Is this? No, it's not a German composer. Sorry, this is not a German. The first one, by the way, that was the first flute concerto by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, we hate Austrians in Germany.
Okay, number 2. And wait. And from now.
Actually, Gareth, I think I'm the wrong person to play this game.
Right, finish it.
Do
you not remember this one genuinely?
No.
We actually had a conversation about this one night.
Oh, haven't we?
We did, yeah. That is the Scherzo from Midsummer's Night's Dream by Felix Mendelssohn.
I don't even know who Felix
I'll give you
Mendelssohn
one
is.
more.
Was he Jewish?
I don't know. Do you know what? That's one for the viewers to listen to. I'll give you one more, and then you're going to give me the easy ones. We'll get these. Actually, you know what? I'll give you this one.
Give me the easy one.
This one here, don't look. Okay.
Go on.
This is a piece. My flute players know this very well. This is a piece by a composer called Camille Saint-Saëns, a French composer, and he wrote a piece of music where he's going around different animals and giving each one a little tune. So the flute has one tune on its own. I'm going to play it for you, and I want you to guess what animal you think Mr. Saint-Saëns is trying to tell us about. Okay,
that sounds more easy. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I know. It's a rabbit in a Sunday morning, when the sun goes up in sunrise, and he's waking up and just saying hello to his little kids.
It's actually a rabbit on a Saturday morning.
Shit.
No, it's a bird.
Yeah.
That hear the birdiness.
Would have been my second guess.
Oh man, right. Second round. Okay, don't look.
Okay.
So, famous flute solos. Okay, these are very famous flute solos. You'll know them all, and I want you to give a guess at the composer.
Okay,
that's it. Just the composer. Now you're going to know every single one of these. The first one's particularly easy. Okay. So hang on. Oh, it's got a wee funny thing on this. So all I want is a composer, or if you know the name of the piece, that's a bonus as well.
Is he German?
He's not German. You don't know this? You do know this.
Is he Austrian?
Piece? He's not Austrian.
Is he French?
He's not French.
Is he from Europe?
Do you not know the piece?
No.
I'll tell you it's from a movie.
Oh. From Bambi?
Have you ever seen Star Wars?
I actually haven't.
Fuck off.
I have seen maybe.
You've never seen Star Wars?
I have seen the new one and maybe the first or the second one. When I was a kid.
You're fucking kidding me.
No.
We're going to stop this podcast. We're going to watch 3 hours of Star Wars and we'll be back.
I've never been into it. Yeah.
I actually thought that was an easy one. I thought you were going to get that one. That is Princess Leia's theme from Star Wars, which, by the way, in my opinion, is one of the biggest flute solos in the world. It should be on orchestral audition lists. That is one solo you play all the fucking time, and you never practice it because what copyright? I can't afford it. Oh, don't listen to that. Right.
I do know Princess Leia. She's the girlfriend of Luke.
Sister.
Oh.
But they do have a wee moment. They have. I think in
really?
episode 5 they kiss, and then yeah, I know. Yeah.
What? That's so
yeah,
weird.
I know, man. You had to be there. It was the 70s. Anything went.
That's like what Flute goes for. What
Right.
Flute turns you into.
Yeah.
Like, don't stick to it.
Right. Next one. Now you'll know this piece, but I'm curious if you know. You have to be quiet. Wait for it.
Yeah, I think I know it.
You do know this one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. It's the Piccolo solo.
Der Nussknacker.
No. I'm going to help you with this one. So
Okay, help me.
I want you to think of the tune you've just heard, but try to sing the notes or think of them in a different way. The tune, you definitely know the tune. Every German child knows this tune. Every child on planet Earth knows this tune. But I want you to think of it in a different way. Da-dum, da-dee, dee-dum, da-dum. Dun, 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 ding, ding, dun, 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 dun.
I don't know it.
Do you know the tune? Dum 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 dum
Yeah, but
dum dum dum.
I couldn't name it.
I'll give you a clue. The composer comes from Bonn,
From Bonn.
and he's probably the most famous composer of all time.
Bach.
One of the 3 most famous composers of all time. He's on that wall.
Yes. Oh, it's Beethoven.
It is
Ah.
Ludwig van Beethoven. It's the Ode to Joy by Schiller, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
like,
poem?
Gareth, you see, like, for me, like, classic music is AC/DC. Back to
Man,
back.
you definitely know the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. You definitely know him.
Yeah, probably I do, but it's like 10
I
years
don't know the
ago.
words.
at
You probably
least.
don't. It's good. Okay, let me give you 1 or 2 more. Why are these all in here in the wrong order? See if I can give you maybe a slightly easier one.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I also didn't think I would be so bad at, like, guessing the songs.
Okay, see if you can. I'll give you a point if you can tell me if you just know this tune.
Okay.
This is a good one. I'll wait for it. Now. Okay, so I'm going to start in a second. So I'll give you a point if you can just sort of tell me the tune. And here we go. I practice this all the time.
Oh, is it from musical?
That's a good guess. It's not right, but I can see why you would say that. Do you know the tune?
No.
No!
No.
You ever play The Sims?
Like a...
Don't
No,
worry about that one.
I haven't.
You never played The Sims?
No.
Oh, man!
Like, Gareth, I'm like almost 10 years
Man.
younger than you are.
Right, there's your last one. Right, there's
We
your
had
last
different
chance.
things
There's your
going
last
on.
chance at redemption here. I'll give you 1 point if you can give me something from this, okay? Right, do you know what? I've got a wee bit in this where I said, if Jakob can't get it, I've got a wee way to make it easier.
Do you need a tissue, by the way?
That's alright, don't worry. It's on for later.
Okay.
Right, last one.
I'm really upset right now.
Don't worry, you got your flute lesson next. Okay.
Like,
All of
imagine-
you listeners at home should definitely be getting this one, by the way. I'll put in the proper audio for them. I'll maybe like stitch that in.
Even if you got American listeners.
You know the tune? I'll give you the easy bit in a minute. I'll give you the next one. If you can give me the animal, but don't give me the animal yet. Do you know the tune yet?
Is it Bambi now?
You're not a million miles off.
So it's something about an
You've got to
animal.
get this now. If you don't get this now, I will be shocked beyond belief.
I know that.
And you're the next bit. You know that one?
Yeah, but I can't name it.
But you know what it is. You've heard the tune.
I've heard it before. Probably in your room.
That's kind of nice we have. Do you know? Can you give me an animal for him? There's an animal that's associated with it in Germany, which is very strange. I don't know why.
It's a horse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you 1 point for that. It is a horse.
Okay,
That's a William Tell overture by Rossini. Right, how long are we in this podcast? 49 minutes. Right, we've got 10 minutes left. Right, we're going to take a very quick break. I need to get some ice for my drink. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. And I'm going to give Jakob a flute lesson. Okay, everybody, we're back. I didn't get ice for my drink. I need to clean up. I made a mess. This is my favourite bit of the podcast. I've been looking forward to this all day. So, weirdly enough, in all the time me and Jakob lived together, I never give him a flute lesson. No. I think you asked a few times, and I feel like I give Lucas one when he was very drunk. I've given a lot of first flute lessons drunk. I've done a lot of them in my flat. When we had that, do you remember that massive party we had for Carnival?
Oh,
the one that got us kicked out?
Oh,
yeah. So that one, I must have given about 4 flute lessons.
Oh no, that was so like funny because like there was our neighbor was also coming to the flat. Like I was so drunk, Lucas was so drunk, like everybody was so drunk. Like Lucas didn't live there anymore actually.
No, he didn't.
But like he was still there.
He was just a dude.
Everybody was so drunk. Like I just remember like this guy came to me and I was like, yeah, fuck off, whatever. Like talk to somebody else.
Oh my God,
and then I just like sent you there, and he was like so pissed. Like I just like remember him screaming like, can you please send somebody who speaks German?
Because to be fair, so for context for this, Carnival in Cologne is a massive event. It's a bit like the Brazilian style carnivals. It's a massive event. And again, this was like semi-corona time, so like you couldn't really party. We had a big party for
it was like in the end of corona. I think it was allowed to do a party because like the police were there.
Oh yeah,
but
true.
like they said, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no,
like
true.
we can't do anything.
Yeah. But anyway, in this kind of party, everyone parties. Like, fuck me, like the whole of Cologne
like crazy.
Is like the end of the world. Like what we were doing was the most tame thing in the city. But yeah, the guy came to my window and he was like, I need to speak to someone about the noise. And I was like, you know what, I've got this. I can deal with this. And my costume that year was Jerry Halliwell from the Spice Girls. So I had the Union Jack dress and the wig on. And obviously looking at me with my accent, they were like, oh yeah, he's obviously German. Yeah. The guy with the British flag German, across him, that's Mr. Germany there. Bring him over. I was like, hello? Was geht? And the guy was like, and he explained to me in Germany so many times, like, can you please just get someone who speaks German? I was like, no, it's okay. Leise, if you're making leise, yeah, it's okay. Kein Stress, huh? Rudi Völler, kein Stress. And we were good. But so we had this party, and I don't know if many flute players can relate to this, and if they can, please, for the love of God, tell me I'm not on my own here. But I always get the thing, so I leave my flute out in my room. That's not a euphemism. I leave my flute sitting out because I always feel like if your flute's out, you're more intended to practice. Like if I see my flute there, I never put it in this box because if I walk past, I go, oh yeah, give it a wee go now. But then I leave it out at parties sometimes unintentionally. People walk past and go, oh, can I have a go on that?
Are you playing the flute?
Yeah.
Are you the king of flute?
And they go, well
only one.
So yeah, I give a few first flute lessons. I give quite a few first flute lessons after parties. So I've got quite good at doing this drunk.
Yeah.
Now, I will say...
So that's how you used to get the girls.
Well, no.
And the boys.
No. So the first lesson on the flute, you just do the head. Now, I've cleaned this for you. I'm not going to do it first. You just do the head of the joint. The head joint of the flute. I can't even talk. Now, I would say getting the sound out of the flute, if we can get this in the next 1 to 2 minutes, I will be incredibly impressed. I would like to get this by the end of the podcast, and if it comes to it, I will let you practice while I finish up the podcast.
Okay.
But my goal is you get a sound out of this. Now, we're going to talk about it first. Now, please don't judge me in my teaching method. This is how we do it in Ireland. So, I'm going to take your little finger. Now, don't put it in my mouth, but keep your mouth totally relaxed. Lips totally relaxed. Put your finger in between and go. Just the size of your little finger. That's the only space you need in your mouth. No, you could park a car in that. Man, fuck's sake. You could line the Millennium Falcon in that. That's all it is. Okay? Now, the flute. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, 50% of the air, roughly, goes into the flute. 50% goes across. Okay? So you want to blow. See that little wall at the back?
Yeah.
You're hitting that. So your air wants to go. Now this, don't worry, I'm not going to play it, but this bit here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Where the bottom of the lip plate is, this hole, that goes there. On the bottom of your lip. Now I'm gonna do it for you. Now don't blow until I tell you. Okay? Now look at the camera. So I'm gonna put it for you. Go there. Now wait. Don't move. I'm gonna move it for you. Right. Now, when you're ready, blow. Blow a bit more. Blow more, baby. Holy fuck! Sorry. I think I spiked the microphone there. One more time. And there we have it, lady. One more time. One more. Go on.
Right.
Actually, you want? Give me that.
It's
Right.
good.
You ready for this?
Okay.
You stay there.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Right. Do it the same way you were doing it, and I'm going to play the notes.
Okay.
So you just blow and I'll play the notes. You ready? Go for it.
I
Look
just
right
need
at
to
the camera.
stop laughing.
It's not funny. Take it fucking seriously, please.
Yeah.
There we are. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. What a musician. There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
This is the kind of content you come to the Inline G podcast for. So, we're going to wind up soon. We're going to give it a couple more minutes. We're going to talk about it. Now, this is not your first podcast experience, is it, Jakob?
I actually have a podcast myself.
I know you do. There's a chance to plug it. Away you go. Tell the people what you've got.
Yeah, we haven't done it in a while because
Tell them anyway.
The podcast is called Ein Bierchen mit Gideon Jakob. Let's translate it to German because
Go for it.
I
to
know
English.
to English, yeah, of course. Like nobody here is from Germany or like just a few people.
German listeners. Is there any German listeners? I think I've got a few in Germany.
Oh yeah,
It might just be me listening to my own podcast.
Like I'm listening to podcasts.
Well, that's you. Yeah. So
it's me.
advertise
Me
yourself.
and my family. Yeah. So no, like it's a podcast where we talk in German language because it's with a German friend about like how to make party, like what is a great party about, like what's great about beer, like how are you going to like cheat in your exams.
I actually do remember you cheating in your exam, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a corona cheating thing as well, which was... I felt like at that time, if you weren't cheating, you were probably stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone was cheating during corona.
Like I feel like you were cheating if you weren't cheating.
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
yeah.
it was
yeah. Actually, on that note, so on this podcast, as you may well know, you don't watch it, but anyway, I have a little drink every week. Normally I'll have a soft drink. Sometimes I'll have an alcoholic drink, like tonight.
I do.
Yeah, I know. I've been known to have the odd one.
Yeah.
Is there a beer you would recommend outside of the Cologne beers? Is there a German beer you would recommend?
German beer outside of Cologne. Yeah, like actually it's funny because like only people from Cologne like Kölsch beer, like Cologne beer.
I spoke about Kölsch many times in this podcast, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone's fucking sick of it.
So, no, I would actually recommend Veltins.
Veltins,
yeah.
as in FC Schalke.
Yeah.
Veltins
Yeah.
Which,
or maybe some people would know Jever, but it's also like
Jever's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really like specific
You know, one of my
taste.
favorite things about Veltins is, so Veltins is a beer. The FC Schalke, which is the football club up in Gelsenkirchen, which is fair to say not the nicest part of Germany. Gelsenkirchen.
No, it's like a really dumb part of Germany.
Yeah, it's shit. Do you know who's playing Gelsenkirchen next year?
Who is it?
Taylor
Swift.
Taylor Swift, in her only German date, is going to Gelsenkirchen. And I love the idea that Taylor Swift has obviously went, oh yeah, that's the biggest venue in the region, we'll play there.
Yeah.
But doesn't realise the absurdity of Taylor Swift plays Gelsenkirchen.
Yeah. But it's like so often it's like that. Like because they just have like a really big stadium and like you can like build it like within like 5 minutes into like a concert hall.
And you're a shithole,
because they have a like
oh, they have the roof.
Like a rooftop.
They do. They have a closing roof.
Yeah.
Okay, so for American listeners, maybe Veltins is a beer to get into. And just before we leave, actually, I want to know this. Jakob spent quite a bit of time in America. We have a lot of American listeners here. Was there any American beers you enjoyed yourself?
I actually like Budweiser. Like in America,
you
everybody
like the American
was laughing
Budweiser?
at me. Yeah, American Budweiser. It's different than Czech Budweiser.
Yeah, it's
but
shit.
like everybody, no, it's not.
It's
like,
shit.
I liked it.
Really?
I also like Busch Light or Busch Light.
Busch Light? What's Busch Light? I never had
Busch
that.
Light, like they spell like
But Bud
B-
Light?
No, Bud Light. Yeah, Bud Light. It's okay because I thought it's great because like I'm a huge fan of Post Malone and he's always drinking Bud Light and I was like, okay, yeah, let's give it a try. But
Tastes
it was
like water.
like water. Yeah, like super water.
Oh, can I say, by the way, actually, I don't know if I talked about this in this podcast, but my favourite American beer by a country mile, Bud Light Lime.
Oh,
that is unbelievable. It's like limey water. It's very nice.
Yeah, but it's like drinking. it's not
Look at
fun.
the German disgrace now. Yeah, turn the fucking podcast off.
Yeah, no, yeah. America, I love you. I had a great time in America.
You did.
Yeah.
I haven't been to America
I love
much, but I'll get
Americans.
there.
Also, Americans,
we'll leave it there.
Like, what I love about Americans, they love Germans so much.
Do they?
It's like,
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, Germany
like,
has such a great
just go there
reputation
and they
across
like
the world.
tell you all the time, yeah, we won against you, and I'm like, no, like I wasn't part of this fight.
Did you lose?
No, I have nothing to do with it.
Me, right.
But,
okay, guys, we're going to get out of here.
Don't get political here. Yeah.
No, well, let's.
No.
In next week's episode, we cover the Nazis. No, right. I actually do cover the Nazis in episode 8, by the way. Go check it out. I've recorded these episodes a lot in advance. So I recorded episode 8 on Monday, episode 9 yesterday, and episode 10 is now being recorded today. Next week, if it doesn't fall through and the booking doesn't fall apart, I do have another guest, and I actually have a genuine flute player this time. Although Jakob does have a promising career in the flute by the looks of it. But next week we do have a genuine flute player coming on the podcast who's just had 2 fucking banging albums out. I'm not going to say his name, although Jakob knows him.
Oh, I know him.
But we can't say his name in case it falls through.
But say hi for me.
I will say hi.
Yeah.
So tune into that. I've also got a few in the pipeline of interviews. There's a lot of interviews coming up. This podcast is picking up a bit of traction, and that's you guys to thank for this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we fucking loved making this.
Oh yeah,
it's been a bit of a
great fun.
Bit of a thing for me to get Jakob on the podcast and just get drunk and talk shit. So we're gonna go. It's Gamescom tonight in Cologne, so maybe we'll go into town and see if we can find some people dressed up as Sailor Moon to talk to. We're gonna go have. Sorry, that sounded weird. I didn't mean.
No, it's fine.
We're gonna find some people dressed as Pikachu to talk to. I mean, it was something normal. That didn't mean to be weird. We're going into town to have a blast anyway. We're going to finish these Inline G cocktails. Guys, as usual, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Go recommend it to your friends. At this point, that's probably the best thing you can do for it. I think we will have hit over 2,000 or 2,000 streams by this point. The numbers are looking very good. If we don't, things have fell apart badly. Jakob, is there anything? Do you want to plug your own Instagram or tell people about your own social media or anything?
Just remember, the best chips are friendships.
For fuck's sake.
Like, I know this American saying as well, Jeez Louise. And
is that it? That's it?
That's it, yeah. Follow me on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's Gareth Houston.
Fuck up. What's your Instagram handle?
No, I don't want you to follow my Instagram. It's fine.
A secret then. Okay, then.
But
guys, I will see you soon. And the usual thing, if you want to donate to the podcast, you know where the link is. All donations to this episode of the podcast, I'll give Jakob 50% of all donations that come in this week.
And I will spend it for beer. For Budweiser, my American friends. Follow me on Instagram. It's Jakob Sai.
Right, guys. Should we get the fuck out of here?
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Peace out.
Goodbye.